Good day to all you glorious rascallion bastards. The name's FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more WutheringWaves.
The moment at hand.
And today's video is going to be a discussion topic
Very moment.
for my old community, which is Wallet May Cry, Peak of Greed, or the official term, Devil May Cry, Peak of Combat. So this is for you guys. We're going to have a little bit of a conversation. To the WutheringWave players, you may be interested in this, you may not be interested in this, but for anyone who plays Peak of Combat, this is for you. So let's get started. So it's been a little while, and as you can tell on the screen, we're not playing Peak of Combat, we're playing WutheringWaves, and there's a reason for it, and we're going to get into that. What I want to say to you guys is, it's been a good run. It really has been a good run, and I know I stated I was coming back and I was going to do my best to try, to make this shit work, to do everything I can to help out, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I am tired. I'm tired of fighting with a community manager that to try to make him understand that misinformation really is something that needs to be worked on. I'm tired of being that person that, is basically feels like he's alone in the fight to a certain degree, to get attention brought to the issues that we see, and have Capcom come in and help. So last thing that ended up happening, and I think a lot of y'all are gonna know, is that we did do a campaign to have people message basically several people at Capcom that were the public relation managers, and we got some responses. I know a few people who actually did get responses, not just myself. And we got to the conversations of what's basically going on. So, long story shortened down is pretty much that, like, right now, how everything is that Capcom has basically stated that they are investigating the matter. They do see from the American side that they do see that there is a misuse on the license that was generated. Now, a lot of y'all might not know the situation when it comes to this, but the situation is pretty much Nebula Joy, after getting their hands on that of Mega Man X Dive, pretty much approached that of Capcom and said, hey, we would like to build this. Gave them a demonstration of Devil May Cry Peak of Combat, which before it was called Pinnacle of Combat. That's where, if you remember, like with the guns and everything else, the first trailers and such for that mobile game. That was all produced, that was all showcased, and Capcom said, okay, we'll give you the license to go ahead and produce this. No big deal. We're not out of pocket anything, we'll go ahead and do it for you. So this is how basically Devil May Cry even got started with Nebula Joy. Nebula Joy is the one that approached. It wasn't Capcom like what they did with Mega Man X Dive. They created Mega Man X Dive originally, right? And basically brought it to Nebula Joy at the end of terms with them and said, hey, look, we want you to continue the work here, and we want you to, continue supporting it. We don't want our in-house developers supporting it anymore. And that's how Nebula Joy has a working relationship with Capcom, pretty much. This can be verified from several different sources, and actually the community manager has stated this statement several times on the POC server back in the day. So it is what it is. So with Nebula Joy pretty much, into this, wanting to do Devil May Cry, they got the license. This is what they're producing. They're in full charge and swing of pretty much certain elements of the game when it comes to dealing, the monetary value, the monetary value of what we feel is predatory. And otherwise, when it comes to other things like character development and such, they still have to go to Capcom in a reasonable sense to be like, hey, look, we want to make sure that, our license is being truly looked into and it's being respected. So Capcom pretty much, that's the only thing they're worried about is the respect of the IP. Which, let's give them credit, that is exactly what they should be doing. However, in the last, back in January this game came out, we all noticed for a fact that the game has its issues. It really does have its issues. And I stated back in March when I pretty much stopped playing the game back then that, give the game basically 6 months and the game's going to be a lot better than what it is now. Well, pretty much I feel like, in a lot of ways I lied to people and I didn't mean to. It's just, I was actually legitimately expecting, this game was going to be much better at the state that it is now. But it isn't. It's just what it is. So, with that being stated and me looking at things, I stopped playing Pika Combat, and the reason why I stopped playing is because, in all honesty, I just wanted, something fresh and something new, and Pika Combat at the time period wasn't giving it to me. I stopped after Count Thunder, and I wasn't interested after. I wasn't interested. I said, you know what, maybe if I just take a break from it, come back, I'll feel, refreshed, because by then, new content will come out. Well, new content did come out, and the new content that came out, pretty much, it's just rerun events. Is basically shitty fucking characters that, the community manager can't even bother to seemingly really read the kits on. And when we try to explain, hey, look, this character does not play the way it should be playing. Is there any plans to fix this? Is there any plans for? No, there's no plans. And they don't want the feedback from us. So I made it a point for a little while here, and a lot of y'all will know, to pretty much go forward, do this email chain, do what it took to try to make it to where, hey, look, I'm going to put my best foot forward to try to make sure that we have people, that we can get Capcom's attention on this project. And we've succeeded. We actually legitimately succeeded at that. In fact, it was actually the reason why I'm making this video is because I just finished speaking about things with certain people at Capcom with information that they requested from me. They asked me, after the campaign, pretty much when we did the email, to remove the videos because they were afraid of doxing situations. And I understand the reason why. I didn't think about it at the time that, giving someone's full name out would probably be a bad thing. So, yeah, that's on me. Even though the information was public, the way we did it kind of feels like it was a trope to a Nazi type situation to be like, oh, go ahead and email and message these people and get them to fix DMC. You're pretty much putting, I'm gonna honestly say, you put probably possible weirdos in the sense to be like, contact Capcom, and these people aren't going to be, nice about what they have to say. They're going to be other types of people that's going to tell Capcom that, like, y'all full of shit and stuff like this. It's going to be a pretty bad situation. It doesn't look good in the community's eyes, and stuff like that can actually get games canceled and such because the community is not respecting the IP. So, like I said, we had a conversation. That conversation pretty much came involved to be like, yes, there is issues with the IP. We see it. And lo and behold, our community manager is actually now doing the bare minimum of what he's supposed to be doing. That is Jason for Nebula Joy. He's actually finally, yes, after all this time, doing the bare minimum. Now, I'm not a big content creator. I can't bring out, 100% the actual answer to fixing all this. That should be obvious. Should be. You're going to have your bigger content creators that pop off more, that's going to make their statements, and legitimately these are the whales that I honestly disagree with a majority of them on the way that they handle the situation with Peak of Combat, personally. Like, for people who claim to actually give a crap about the IP and they care about peak combat and the community, they sure aren't respecting the other people's, sentiments. They're only caring about themselves, and that is actually the wrong thing to go about. But I digress. I am reframing to play DMC anymore. I'm reframing to actually talk about DMC anymore. This is basically going to be the last time that I actually am going to engage pretty much in any kind of video topic with Devil May Cry Peak of Combat, because in all honesty, I'm gonna say it, there is several people in the community that are pretty big in regards to being notable, that they're not putting their best foot forward. They're basically trying to destroy. That's the best way I can legitimately state this. And I disagree with the methods of how they're handling it, and it's childish. You gotta be, if you really want to be someone, I guess, on YouTube, you gotta be a person who's going to extend, you're gonna pop off, and you're going to be this person that's going to be covered by other people, be known. You have to be a radical person in that sense. Whatever happened to common decency of just professionally talking to companies? Whatever happened to the professional common courtesy of actually working with others and stuff like this and doing for the greater good? I don't know what happened. But if you ain't on one side or the other side, there's two sides to this story. Let's be completely honest. There's the people who, enjoy the game for what it is. They don't think it's bad like maybe I perceive it. And you know what? Because they don't perceive it that way, it seems like, there's another side that goes against them, and it's vice versa. It's the same way for them. And I'm tired of seeing this. Like, the way I look at things is that, why can't we agree to disagree, but agree that there, come to a common, common collective agreement. Hey, look, let's compromise about things. Let's work together. The game is predatorial. I know the game's predatorial in its practices of money. So why don't we just work together to fix this? And I thought, I was doing a pretty decent job to portray this message outwards, but I think I failed, in all honesty. I think I must have failed. Because you still have people that I've talked to, right? That, hey, you think this way, I think this way, but at the end of the day, we were talking, we were friends, it felt like. We were acquaintances, and then all of a sudden, as soon as something happens, they talk behind my back. They talk behind this person's back. They do this. And legitimately, it's like, okay, you know what? I came here offering a solution, and I asked your guys' opinion, and you guys didn't want to do anything. You wanted to have the situation where people refund their money. You don't want to fix the game. You want to legitimately have the game die. Let's be honest, okay? And I don't see, that's your personal opinion. That's your preference, Okay, that's fine. But to badmouth someone who, and to try to go ahead and destroy things for a community that is enjoying it is kind of wrong in my book, I would feel, man. Like, seriously. And it's just that these guys legitimately are not in my personal, they're not personally the people I'm talking to anymore. I'll put it that way. And these are people that I feel talk out of both sides of their mouth. They'll tell me one thing, but they're going to go right back to the community manager and make it seem like, all hell's broke loose, Fox this, Fox that, this one, that one, all kinds of stuff. where just an hour ago we were on a same page, but then you took that same page that we were on and you just threw it out the door. So my thing is this, and I'm going to say this to anybody who cares about DMC, POC, who cares about its future and stuff like this. If you care about its future and you want this game to succeed, I'm going to tell you right now, you can't rely on people like myself, content creators or anything, to do this if you're not willing to do something yourself. Like, I'm going to put it like this. I lived a life, man, to where I learned from different people that I don't ask you to do something and I don't do something that I'm not willing to do myself. You know, I'm not going to ask you, hey, contact Capcom, you know, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that kind of thing. I'm going to basically say, look, I'm going to contact them. I'm going to go ahead and say my own words. I'm going to show that, you know, as a person who's leading the charge here, that I am more than willing to help in any which way I can. I still get comments of people asking me about, hey, what's the best cards for Endless Judgment Virgil? What's this? What's that? I get comments for Lords of the Fallen and such, and I still try my best to answer those comments whenever I can, even though I don't touch it, to try to help people out. Because I feel like it's just common courtesy. It's common sense. And what gets to me is just the fact that right now, you have just people that just want to commit chaos. That is just what it is. They don't want to be, you know, perceived as anything more than a renegade, rather than be perceived, you know, as a person that wants to make a difference. So I'm putting it this way. This is basically my final goodbye to DMC POC, to the community, to everything. I'm probably, when you're going to see this video, I'm going to remove myself from the server. And it's not because I really want to, it's because if change is going to happen, change needs to happen together. You can't have people talking out both sides of their mouth. You can't have people who is going to be extreme radicalists that's going to do this and try to destroy a game that we're trying to preserve and save. And then you can't have people that, when we're trying to preserve and save, go ahead and badmouth the other side that says, I'm not playing it. There needs to be a common collective. There needs to be legitimately a band of people that would work together. I've tried approaching the community manager. I've tried working in a sense. And from the company side to the community side, it's where it's at. And I'm done. That's just how I feel. So consider this my last video in DMC POC, even though we were playing WutheringWaves. And just know that I'm sticking with WutheringWaves content. I'm going to focus and I'm going to put my money, I'm going to whale in a game that I truly feel deserves my cash. That I can see that there is true intent, there's true passion behind, that makes me feel like this is a worthwhile investment. So until next time, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.